Hello everyone and welcome back guys to episode 6 of my GT Sport Road to Rank S. And if you did miss out on the last one, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. We're sort of back on this series. Now I'm going to try and make it sort of consistent twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays as well. So we slowly but surely move our way up towards Rank S on this game. You can see, starting in today in the Group 4 cars, I think we've got a, well, 19-man lobby. I think this track I'm probably even going to butcher it. Autodrome Lago Maggiore, I think. I don't know. Let's just call it ALM for now. But yeah, today then here for this race, obviously hoping for quite a good one. Trying to move my license slowly up towards A. You know, we're about a third of the way into B at the moment. Obviously looking to try and get that up over these next few races. Also, as well as to try and bring my safety rating, sorry, my sportsmanship rating, I always get that wrong, back up to S as well. And obviously looking to try and hit rank S over the next, well, I say rank S, I'm not too sure how long it'll take. It's probably quite a while on the whole. But here we are then, ready on the start. Obviously a rolling start this time, nothing like those Group 2 cars last week, where it was just an absolute mess. But ready then, it's 5 lights and away we go. And actually up to a fairly poor start. This track really favours the front wheel drive cars. And unfortunately, the Lamborghini does not fare well around here. I sort of just went in it because, well, I like the car as well. But yeah, unfortunately, it's all just sort of front-wheel drives. You know, you've got Megans, you've got Scirocco's there. We've got one Audi TT that's just flown off the nut here, unfortunately. That car is four-wheel drive, though, but I think a lot of the power does go to the front wheels on this Group 4 model as well. As we come through the first couple of corners, though, obviously, we've already made up one place here, and obviously looking to try and move our way slowly but surely up the order here. A huge, scary moment as we come out on, well, not really the back straight as such, but one of the straights here. Got very lucky to A, not only not completely spin, crash and die, B, also not that we actually ended up losing a position here, although this guy might be trying to go for the undercut on the, sorry, the switchback move here. They're not able to make it work, though. We will hold on to P7 there, so that's quite a scary moment off the start of this race as we come now through this horrible, well, I'm not too sure whether I dislike it or like it. You know, it doesn't really suit this car, I feel, on the whole. Just a lot of twisty corners, you know, sort of on off the throttle, not particularly, for me personally, I don't particularly enjoy it all too much. But now we come onto the back straight and down in towards one of the weirdest corners in the world. I'm sure for those of you that, you know, sort of follow GT Sport a lot more, you're probably fully aware of this corner, but what a weird corner it is. Absolutely fantastic when you do get it right. That NSX can brake so late going in there. That was really impressive. Honestly, I thought he'd just spear off into the gravel trap there. But yeah, that corner, very weird on the whole. Very much a fan of it, though. I do quite like this track on the whole, I feel, as we come now through the final few corners of this opening map here. Quite a fast little chicane there. This corner as well, I sometimes struggle to get quite right. You can brake a lot later than the 2 cones, so it's sort of a bit weird for me. Usually the 2 cones is my braking marker there. The NSX there, almost just the back end, as we come through the final couple of corners here. It is able to keep it nice and pointing in the right direction, which is certainly ideal as we come now down towards the final corner here. Getting very close to his rear end there. Luckily, we don't give him a bit of a punt there, as he is lagging around ever so slightly as well here. But now we finished lap 1 here onto the start of lap 2, and obviously we're still doing quite well. Up 1 place off the start, obviously after that Audi had a huge amount of issues as we come now down, breaking in towards 1 there. The NSX runs down a little bit deep on the first part there, but unfortunately we just can't get the car turned in the route the second there. The NSX runs wide though onto the grass. We're going to be on his outside as we come now down in towards the next corner. They're trying not to squeeze him out entirely over the curbs, but we will try to squeeze him over those curbs a fair bit here. Park it on the apex through the next corner, and now we move ourselves up into P6 of this race here. I will certainly take that in the early stages here, slowly but surely moving my way up through the order here as we now come down in towards this horrible sort of turning braking zone here. Just one that I never really could get, well, I never really felt I could get it quite right in this car on the whole. But we've moved up 2 places in the opening phase of this race. Obviously there will be 1 pit stop as well, but unfortunately we just run massively deep in through that corner there. Unfortunately it doesn't cost me all too much on the whole. We were able to park it in front of the NSX nonetheless anyway. And as we come now through the final couple of corners of lap 2 here, you can just see, you know, we're doing alright at the moment. We're starting to put a little bit of a gap to the Italian just behind me here. Unfortunately, through this final, well, second to last corner there, run very wide there, and somehow picked myself up an 8/10 grip penalty there, which I'm not really too sure how I feel about that. Don't really feel that was justified. You know, we didn't really gain anything from that. So, but you know, we'll take it. You know, we've still got plenty of time in this race to try and get rid of that here. So we'll just have to try and make sure that, well, the strategy does work out for ourselves by the end of the race here. We tried to lose a little bit down in towards turn 1 and pretty much drop it by absolutely well, 1,000th of a second there. We were able to drop it by as we come through the first couple of corners. So we'll look to try and continue on and get rid of this penalty without losing any places here. On to the end though of lap 4, you can see there was a little bit of battling going on between the Spaniard and the Brit just in front of me here, and hopefully we're going to be able to try and capitalise on these guys as we come now down in through the final corner here. We're actually going to dive it down into the pit lane here as we come now breaking down. You can just see the Italian behind me was about 3 seconds back as we come into the pit lane here, and I'm not too sure why, but we get held in the pits for a very, very long time here. I'm not too sure whether that was because I had the penalty or what it was, but yeah, unfortunately we got held for about 3-4 seconds there. Not really too sure what I make about that there, and that's unfortunately going to cost me quite a bit of time in this race. We're going to we're going to exit the pit lane now, and just look, he's jumped us in the pit lane there. We've lost about 8 seconds in the pits. Not really too sure how I sort of feel about that overall. I'm not too sure whether we had a penalty or what it was. Potentially this Lamborghini does get through its fuel quite quickly, so we just had a much longer pit stop as well. But why on earth the team were just waiting around for sort of a good 3 seconds at the start of the pit lane there? I'm really not too sure about on the whole. But coming through then on to lap 6 of lap 8. You see we come back out down in P8 here, so we have dropped 2 places over the pit stop window there. There's going to be another Italian, actually, this race full of Italians, Italian Grand Prix, Italian racetrack, I think, obviously imaginary as well there, so I'm sure the Italians, will be out in fighting force around this circuit here as we come through the first complex of corners here. We're looking to try and capitalise on this Audi once more here. Over these next couple of laps, I'd like to recover all the way back up into my P6, but we'll have to wait and see as to what does happen with that as we come now down in towards Sector 2 here. Just a very, very tricky corner. Always, that was probably one of the best runs I actually was able to get through there whatsoever here. We're now all over the back of this Audi driver here. I must say, I do absolutely love the paint scheme on that car. I may have to get one of those Audis, for this week's racing as we come through the next couple of fast flowing corners here. Try to capitalise on the Audi, run a little bit wide. Fortunately, there's not going to be any penalty for ourselves as we come now through on towards the back straightaway here. We are going to be so close. We're trying to look to the outside. We had to move to the inside there. We must have pretty much been pushing him as we come down this back straight here. The Audi will have slightly better legs than me, but then once he changes up into max gear there, we are going to be able to have a look up the inside. Brake nice and late, nice and tightly though. Take the curbs, and we will now re-inherit P7 in this race here with just 2 laps to go. We still want to try and get past this Italian called Traz's, I think it is here. Would like to try and get back up into P6 here. Even in P7 we will still have moved up in this race, but obviously hoping we can try and get back up to where I feel we do rightfully deserve as we come through the final couple of corners here. He still does a couple of seconds of the right. I think you can see the gap is 4 seconds here. I always struggle still to get used to how much information the Gran Turismo UI really gives you. It is an absolutely fantastic game in that sense here. But now on to lap 7, you can see we are closing up to the rear of this guy. He's making quite a few mistakes here actually. We follow him out on towards this back little straight here. You can see he has got a bit of a penalty as well, which he does need to try and get rid of here, and obviously hoping we can try and capitalise on that as we brake now nice and tightly in towards this horrible corner. Did actually get the run all right that time round. We will certainly take that as of right now as we come through in towards these next couple of corners here. Are we going to be able to get close enough through this sort of S section here? Are we going to be able to do as we come through the first part, through the second, through the third? We do take quite a nice bit of curb, but unfortunately we do run a little bit wide once more there, and that's going to give the NSX a little bit of a run that he so desperately needs here. But he has still got that penalty though. He's going to try and go a bit defensive on me. We're going to try and use out all of the slipstream here. He's going to be, well, still just ahead of me there. No way we're going to be able to go for a dive in towards this corner though. He does brake a little bit earlier than we have seen him brake there in the past. He does actually the run-ed wheel out onto the gravel here, which is not going to give him the best run on the exit of the corner here. We're going to try and look to the outside there. He's going to try and hang me out to drive, but we're already on the outside there. It's going to mean that he, through the next part of the corner, is not able to get the car hooked up on the apex. Scrubs up against the wall. We're then going to be able to move up the inside, and we will now move back up into P6 here. Sort of feeling that overall I will certainly take that. He punted me out a little bit wide there, but then obviously we were still able to make it work in the end as we come now down through the final corner though, and we are going to be able to hold on to that P6. He would unfortunately drop back just a little bit towards the end of the race there. But yeah, P6 I will certainly take that. Quite an action-packed little race on the whole, but hopefully, you know, we'll gain some driver rating on the whole. As you can see, it was a Mclaren ahead of 2 Audis ahead of a Scirocco there ahead of another Audi, which really does go to show, you know, how OP those 3 cars really are. I will certainly take best of the rest here in my Huracan here. You know, we'll definitely try to look into something like the Audi TT Cup over these next couple of rounds. You know, I sort of want to broaden my horizons on this game as well. You know, drive in some different cars as well here. You know, we'll have to wait and see about that as well. But in terms, though, of our driver rating and our sportsmanship rating, we actually got a daily workout as... Sorry, our sportsmanship rating. I did actually get it right for once there. See, we do win a Honda... Sorry, not a... I can't believe I've just said a Honda. A Nissan Skyline R30... R34, I think. I'm probably going to get beaten up in the comments if I've cocked that up again there. But yeah, in terms, though, of our driver rating and our sportsmanship rating, you see me doing a little bit of a dance. I was quite a fan of this song as well going on in the background there. But yeah, finally getting back to what I was talking about there. See, we do get back up to S sportsmanship rating. We are now nearly to halfway in the B driver rating, so we are slowly but surely moving our way up the order at the moment there. But hopefully, you know, you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure you do like and subscribe if you're new around here as well and you want to see more of my Gran Turismo Sport Road to Rank S, obviously on the second channel. But hopefully, I will see you guys next Monday for the next episode, round 7. I see round 7, episode 7 of the series.